Obsession. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe Gerba. Today I'll be going over Obsession and how it plays with 2 players. Now Obsession is a 1 to 5 player game where you'll be competing with the other families. There's 4 families that come in the box. You have your starting family of 4 and you'll be building up your estate, holding these fancy parties, holding these fancy gatherings with your family and your court members to build up your prestige, your money, your overall estate, and hopefully at the end of the game you have enough to impress the Fairchilds and win the game. So let's see a little bit more how to play. So on your turn you're going to have to decide what kind of event you're going to hold for that calendar season, and send out the butler, your housekeeper, your footman to all paired along with your family members and court members to join into the event. Now, these events may require some ladies, some gentlemen, some of the gentry, so just some of the family members, the people you have in your hand that you collect throughout the game for your estate. And you'll be holding the event, gathering more cards, gathering reputation and money, and then use the money to expand your estate and to try to hold some different and more extravagant events. Try to expand your court, so at the end of the game you have more points and you have more just court members to decide and put out which have better things. Try to get more prestigious court to have. Or at the end of the game, you also may want to have the most reputation. So by holding these events, you gain more reputation. So on your turn, it's really going to be host the event, send your court members, send your servants that need to go on there, and it'll be the next person's turn. So you'll go through those after 4 or so turns back and forth. You're going to have this courtship, which is kind of there's 4 subdivision parts of scoring, and you'll go through those, and whoever has the most points in there gets one of these Fairchilds for a few turns. And at the end of the game, just whoever has the most points with all those things I explained wins the game. So it's kind of point salad at the end. So let's see a little bit more what I thought about the game. So I know I talked and there was a lot of things it seems like you're doing throughout the game, but the components are mainly in these tiles and in the servants and on the board. This game looks like it would take up, and be super complicated, but the components are really nice in this game. The rules and references, very straightforward. The rule book is a little bit wordy, but in an okay way where it really explains a lot of the caveats that you may encounter. Now, setup in this game really doesn't take much time at all. They give you these nice little tuck boxes to kind of help you get set up. A table size is going to run you a decent amount. You could probably barely fit this on a 3x3, but it is going to need a little bit more space in my opinion. So let's talk about the gameplay. I explained how to play the game in a very, not the best manner, but it really is choose an event that's available to you and host the event. Decide what of your court members that you have available you're going to send, and then put your servants on there and then collect the rewards. It's really kind of as straightforward as that. Once you use your court members for that event, they go in your discard pile. So you are going to run out of these eventually. You can only gain them for so long before you need to gather them all back again. I don't want to say this is a deck building game, because you're really only going to reclaim your court members probably twice throughout the game. If you really stretch thin, you can do it once if you've really planned out well. But overall, this game is put an event down, host the event, send your court members, put your servants on there, and collect. And it's really neat because after you do the event, you flip over the tile, which usually gets you more points. There's secret objectives that you're trying to accomplish. While you can always get more objectives and put off ones you don't really want. There's a lot of depth in this game that you don't think, how easy your turn is. Host event, put your people down, collect the rewards. There's a lot of depth and decisions to be made. However, it's also easy enough to teach. So I really like this game for 2. There's a nice back and forth. The downtime's not the biggest in this game. So this is a really nice overall game for 2 that has really neat pacing. For us, in the 5 games we've played, they've all taken about 2 hours. The first game did take us 2.5 hours, but it was an enjoyable 2 hours. We put on some music and we just kind of back and forth deciding how we're going to play. If you really get good at this game, you can play much faster, but you know, what keeps the game interesting is going to be these bag of tiles. So once you buy one, a new one's going to come out. Now it's going to have that kind of tile buying nature where the ones that have been out longer are going to cost less, and the ones that are, you know, just revealed, newly revealed, are going to cost you a little bit more. So, you know, between, you know, getting new court members, deciding what to buy on your turn, deciding the maximum, do I want to go for reputation or do I need to expand my estate, all while trying to plan, what a great game this is gameplay wise. So let's talk a little bit about luck versus strategy. There's not a ton of luck in this game. There's no dice, but there are cards that you draw. These aren't really events, but these are just cards added to your court. And sometimes you just end up with all males or all females, you know, in your court, and you're really looking for the opposite gender. Objectives, when you draw these, you don't know what you're going to get. However, you start with a decent amount, which gives you a little bit of jump start, what you want to work towards. So as far as luck versus strategy, I would say high strategy with some luck involved. So in the end, is this game good for 2? That's the big question. And this game, I think, is great for 2. If you did add an extra person, you would just be lengthening the play time. I don't think anything would necessarily be, you know, sped up. There's not a whole lot of simultaneous action in this game. It really is one person, the next person, the following. I really think this game shines with 2. There aren't really enough attacking cards to really feel like you're hampering the opponent, you're really beating them down. There are a couple in this where you gossip about them and they lose a little bit of reputation, but you usually also have to pay a penalty for that. So the back and forth of this game, trying to see what the other person is, trying to decide if you want to spend your money getting this tile that you know the other person probably needs for a certain courtship, or at the end of the game scoring, is just kind of neat. You know, the decisions to be made when you only have to worry about that one other person is just great. The theme in this game, if you wanted to play this as a role-playing game where you're saying, oh, we're going to have some lawn tennis with, you know, Sir Charles and Sir, you know, Edward in a friendly game, and you flip it over and you know, there's just, you can announce all that stuff. The game really is thematic as well. It's a great, you know, deep game, which I know a couple of my buddies at Dads and Dice are on the fence of, you know, Devin from Dads and Dice likes the deep game. Paul really likes the theme. This is one of those games that kind of merges both of them together. Where if you want to play with someone with high theme and say, you know, hey, I'm going to hold, you know, a formal gathering for 8 of my court member, and then, you know, name them off as you escort them into the room. Great. But if you are into that crunchy point salad kind of, I just want to care about the points and winning, this game is also great. So this game has a lot of good things going for it. I'd say, you know, it does take a little bit of time, so this is not going to take you usually under an hour if you're looking for negatives. But overall, this is a really good game. There's a couple variations or variants you can play with. We haven't found them to be too exciting yet. However, I probably won't say no to playing this at 2-player. I think 2-player is the optimal count. I saw a lot of people, I have not played this solo. I saw a lot of people do like this game solo, but at 3 to 4, you're just stretching out the play time. So as an intimate experience for 2 and as a crunchy, great game where you can really think about your actions, I think Obsession is a great game. So thank you guys for watching the review, and until next time.